Okay, so first of all, I have this table here in Excel, and I'm going to select the whole table, and then copy it and paste it into a Word document. But you'll see the table doesn't fit inside of the page. It's hanging off of the edge. So I'm going to try a few different tricks in order to get it to fit. First of all, select the whole table, and then go to Layout and Autofit, and then Autofit window. And this will force the table to fit inside of the page borders. But this messes up some of the words and the numbers. So I will next try and adjust the column width. You can do this two ways. Either by selecting the border and dragging it, and that changes the column width, but not the width of the table. Or you can hover over the top of the column until you get a black downwards pointing arrow, and then click, and that will select the whole of the column. And then use the width box up here to change the size of the column. And this also changes the width of the table. So you can use this to try and make some of the columns thinner. And then you will have more space to make other columns wider. But this is still not fitting correctly. So the next thing I will try will be to go to Layout and Cell Margins. On the left and right cell, margins are the space between the black border line here and where the text begins. So this space here at the moment is 0.19 centimeters. But I can make this smaller. And okay, and now you can see the space has disappeared. Now that I've removed that extra space, I can make the width of these columns smaller again. And that will give me more space to make the other columns wider. For example, the formula column here is the longest formula, and it is currently split across two lines. But if I increase the width, I can make it so it only goes across one line. Now I still don't have everything fitting correctly. So the next thing I will try will be to select the whole of the table and change the character spacing by going to Home and opening up the font box. Then going to Advanced, and I can change the scale. Normal is 100%, but I can make this a little bit smaller by going to 90%. And there's a preview here of what it will look like. But if I press OK, you can see it squashes all of the words together. Now I don't tend to use this because I don't like the way it looks. What I usually do is change the character spacing. To be condensed, now the default is 1 point. And if I go OK, you'll see that this squashes all of the words together. And it's quite noticeable. But if I change the spacing to be a smaller number, say 0.4, and okay, it's still squashed together. But it's not quite as noticeable. And now I can select the columns again and decrease their width again. And then with the name column, the longest name is this one here. So I need to make the name column wider until this is on one line. And then because I have a merge cell here, I can't just select the columns by clicking at the top. So what I need to do is select the first cell and then click and drag. And then I can decrease the width here. Now the heading no longer matches, but if I select this, I can change the width here as well separately. Then for this column, this needs to become a little bit wider. And the final column also needs to become a little bit wider. And then the heading needs to be adjusted to match. Now, if you still haven't been able to get everything to fit inside of the page, as a last resort, you can change the font size and make it smaller. Now this will mean that your table now has extra space in it. So if you select the table and go to Layout, and go to AutoFit, this time I will use AutoFit Contents. And this will make it so the table tries to fit around the text and leaves as little space as possible. This doesn't always work the way you want. For example, it's now spread out the tension window, so it fits across one line. So I will need to adjust the color with here again to make it the way I want it. And I'll also need to do it here as well. Okay, and now I am happy with the way my table looks. So you can see that there is quite a lot of back and forth in order to make a table fit. But hopefully this video has given you a few ideas of things that you can try in order to make a table fit into a Word document.